It was the best performance by a goalkeeper I have ever seen in my entire life. Mario, like it in the 65th minute, after Casey had just saved another point-blank shot from Romario.
Have an out number 9. They didn't bring Charleston. They didn't bring Jesus. They didn't bring
Endrick is the out 9.
I get that, but he's a young.
Yeah, but he's an out 9.
Okay. I still feel like
he's too young to be a 9, is what.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
He's too young.
Fala, meu convocado. No meio da semana tem Brasil e Estados Unidos, mais um amistoso preparatório para a Copa América. Dessa vez o Brasil deve vir com o time titular, com o Hendrick, o Vinícius Júnior, o Rodrigo atuando. Hoje vamos ver aí a opinião de norte-americanos sobre esse confronto e também uma história muito interessante que envolveu o Baixinho Romário. Deixe aí seu comentário e bora ver.
Against Brazil, pretty good. They're a pretty good team. Now, before we get into kind of the nuts and bolts and a projected starting 11 for both sides, Brian, the U.S. 1 win and 18 losses against Brazil all time. But you were a part of that 1 win back in 1998, the Gold Cup. Preki scored to win 1-0. What do we got to do? What can we lean on from that experience? How was that actually? Let's just get into that. How was that to beat Brazil?
Yeah, listen, we had no business beating them. The only reason we were even in that game was because of Casey Keller. It was the best performance by a goalkeeper I have ever seen in my entire life. And people always bring up, Timmy Howard against Belgium in the World Cup, and that was special for sure. But Casey, I think he saved like at least 6 saves inside the 6-yard box with Romario and Bebeto were their forwards. So this was an accomplishment that was better than anything I've ever seen. And then all the other shots that he saved inside the penalty area, from outside the penalty area. Yeah, so he gave us this opportunity, and Preki got the ball about 35 yards out, turns, and he does, what he does. Preki does the cut. He does the cut.
The famous cut.
He chops, and he chops, and he chops, and he gets his left foot and hits his banger, and we win the game. I mean, it shouldn't happen. And going back to Casey, Romario, like it in the 65th minute, after Casey had just saved another point-blank shot from Romario went to Casey and he just shook his hand. It was like the most amazing thing that I've seen. So we may need that, but hopefully it's not so one-sided.
All right, so what I'm picking up on what you're putting down is that Matt Turner needs to stand on his head for us to have a chance in this game. Okay, preview's over, everybody. Thank you for listening to Call It What You Want.
Well, it's not necessarily Matt Turner either, because
and slide wide to be the first one to slow down, or it could be Tyler, right? And then we just have to rotate to get back into position to help with counters. There's something there that I like. What's that?
And we've seen Musa do that with AC Milan.
Yeah, exactly. He can do it too.
You know that Anthony Robinson and Timmy will definitely get up and down the field. Anthony Robinson's like one of the fittest players you'll ever see.
Anyway, let's get to the Brazil lineup. Let's break these guys down. I don't know. Maybe you've heard of some of them. There's this guy named Allison who plays for Liverpool in goal. He could have done better on Mexico's second goal, by the way. You got Wendell, a 30-year-old left back, plays for Porto. Gabriel plays for Arsenal. Marquinhos plays for PSG. Danilo plays for Juventus. Whatever. We have a whole bunch of guys playing in Europe too, right? What's the big deal? Paqueta, I don't know. Should he even be playing? He's been betting on games. Bruno Guimaraes will be starting in midfield as well. Joao Gomez plays for Wolves. Really like this player a lot. Can do it on both sides of the ball, but just covers so much ground. He's like their Tyler Adams in some ways, covers a lot of ground. Rodrigo Vinicius, and then Endrick up top, who is looking to get his first start for the Brazilian national team and scored the winner against Mexico. This is a pretty good team. It's a pretty good team.
Yeah, with Rafinha probably first off the bench.
Yeah,
as an attacker.
Yeah, they don't have an out number 9. They didn't bring Charleston. Endrick. They didn't bring Jesus. They didn't bring
Endrick is the out 9.
I get that, but he's a young.
Yeah, but he's an out 9.
Okay. I still feel like
he's too young to be a 9. Is what?
No, that's not what I'm saysaying.
He's too young.
You're good enough. You're good enough. It doesn't matter your age. But I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking of I guess he's kind of Jesus size, but I wonder how that team would look with like a big,
amazing.
Yeah, with a bigger striker. But anyway, so this team's going to cause us problems. That's the long and the short of it, Charlie.
Yeah. So how do you beat a team that will cause you problems like that, right? And it's you go back to the games like Croatia in the World Cup. a good system, good defensive principles, and in transition and in the counter is how you get at Brazil, and set pieces. Remember when set pieces used to be our thing? We were so dangerous on all set pieces. You know, anytime we got a corner kick or a free kick, everyone was like, this is our moment. This is where we can beat teams. That has to come back into the fold. Where's that been? Our first ball typically is not clearing the first guy. The set pieces haven't been good. They haven't been good. So we need to get back to having different ways to beat different teams, not the same way every single, no matter what the opponent is. Like you said earlier, Jimmy, have an option to play down the channel, direct, in behind, make them face their own goal. Even if you don't get to it, you're moving the lines. Then it's like, okay, let's readjust. Let's see how much pressure we can put on them. We can take our chances while they're facing their own goal. That's when you can take those risks of pressing and seeing what you can get out of it. And if they break it, then you get back into your formation, right? And make it very difficult to be broken down. It's almost so easy when you look at it. It's easier against Brazil when you know they're going to have possession, when you know they have all this talent on the wings. You kind of know what to expect. And so
I don't know if that's the truth. I get what you're saying, Charlie, and I think for the most part, when you're playing a better team, you know exactly what you're going to get. With this, I mean, with this attacking setup, with Paquetá is going to be a little higher up, right? And he'll drift in and out. Vinicius Jr. will come in the middle. Endrick will go outside, or whoever's playing. That fluidity they have up top is going to make it difficult for our center, our back four.
It also unbalances them in transition.
But that's why you have Bruno Guimarães. Thank you.
Guimarães.
Yeah, because he's the guy who'll cover, and he'll sit in and he'll break up anything. And if he doesn't break it up, he'll foul. And, you know, like I said in the very beginning of this conversation, we have to understand it's okay to foul. It's okay to lay one on a player, right? That is part of the messaging. That is part of the intensity. And we need more of that. But I get what you're saying, Charlie. It gives you a better understanding of how a team's going to come at you. But this Brazilian squad, the way they interchain and the way they attack is going to be so dynamic. We have to make sure that our structure is solid. And this is where, you know, we've been talking about all this great stuff about getting forward and putting our wingers up. I mean, our wing backs up. We have to be aware of the ability for this team to counter is exceptional.
Alguém já te falou assim, ó, fica assistindo futebol, comentando aí, isso aí não paga suas contas, você não ganha pra isso. Deixa eu te mostrar uma coisa aqui, ó. Depois que eu descobri isso aqui, ó, que dá realmente pra ganhar dinheiro repercutindo notícias de futebol aqui na internet, olha só, essa aqui é só uma notícia, tá? R$ 3.367. Pô, um outro salário, ou não é? Só com uma notícia. Pode ser de futebol, de política, de fofoca, do que você quiser. Só que precisa trabalhar, tá? E precisa fazer do jeito certo. Quer entender melhor? Clique em Saiba Mais.